Hello, I am a solo ad seller, and with this video I'm going to show you how I generate about 10,000 clicks per day. Now you may be going, okay, you're a solo ad seller, why are you showing me this? I don't care about competition, and let me explain to you why right now. I have what's called an abundance mentality. I don't think I can do 30,000 clicks a day because I just don't want to work that hard. There are millions of clicks a day being sold in the solo ad business. So there's plenty of business for everybody. So I want everyone to make money. And I want everyone to do this in a way that it makes sense to them so they can maintain a business. This is a business to me. I take a long-term perspective. I don't do a, instant boom and then out of there. So please watch this and understand I'm being very sincere, and I'm giving you a couple of really high-end trade secrets because I want people to be successful. Because if they are, they'll keep their prices higher for one, and just it'll be a lot easier market to compete in or be in because people aren't coming and going so quick. First of all, a little proof that I can generate these clicks and the level of engagement that I get. Out of 33,000 people, 42% will open up an email, even in my autoresponder, and 9,000 clicks on this particular email, 27% click-through rate. There is a reason why, and I'll explain to that as I go forward. Here you can just take a look at today's June 26th snapshot of, I grabbed a snagget of my Clickmagic account, which I love. You can see my rotators have already done 9,982 clicks. The day is still young. There's probably a few more to go. And my autoresponder sequence has done some sales. So I'm getting conversions, 1,100 clicks there, 42 actions. I don't even know what they are. I don't track revenue. I only just, can track what I can because it's difficult to do that on the affiliate marketing side. Okay, here are my frustrations. I get very frustrated when I see people selling dirt cheap traffic on Facebook or Udemy, not because I'm afraid of the price competition, but because people will not be able to afford to maintain their list at that low price. And these are things people don't think about because they go, "Oh, I'm making 30 cents a click, and I've got 500 clicks a day. And wow, I'm doing great." Well, every solo email you send out costs you money. People don't realize how much it costs. It costs probably about 20 cents a click, is the way my math worked out. So the reason why is your leads are opting out, and every email you send out, they either opt out or quit taking action because you're sending them really high. What I'm going to call highly action-oriented emails, or sometimes can be very deceptive, and you're just saying, click here to get your $300 or some stupid thing like that. And if you do that sort of email practice, it's going to haunt you because your list is going to quit going right away. The other thing is, I only email solo ad forms. Okay, I don't email sales letters for clients. Here's why. When somebody sees a sales letter, my list relationship is I am the guy who is looking at opportunities for you. I don't sell you product. My sell you product is in a different area, right? So when I do a direct sales letter, I get a huge opt-out rate. I let you do that. So every time I do a solo ad, it's got to be to an opt-in page. Name, email, submit is the best. I don't get to any other crap in there. Okay, so your leads are going to opt out every time you send an email. You're going to lose your list quickly if you're not building it. So that's something you got to think about. Your autoresponder costs money. You are paying money, whether it's Aweber or whoever you use. Get response, you are paying money. Okay. And then you have to continue to be building and maintaining your list. And that costs money too, as you all know. Because you're going to need thousands and thousands of list members to sell traffic. Anybody that's in the game understands. And there's a lot of great people at Udemy that I know that sell traffic, and they're very good at what they do, and they're smart about it. And they can sell competitively and maintain their business because they just don't take the money from the order and put it in their pocket and go out and get a cheeseburger. They're reinvesting into their leads. And that's an expensive process. It's about at least 50% of your sales volume needs to go back into your leads. But we're going to show you some better options again. So you're going to need thousands of leads. You can't have a list of 300 people and expect to make money. Okay, why people fail. Most people start out by selling super cheap. And maybe they'll sell a bunch of traffic because they got a list or something like that. and you'll see them for a little while and then they disappear. The reason why is they have no profits to reinvest. They forgot they had to go out and pay the autoresponder account. They forgot they had to keep buying traffic to keep their list fresh. They forgot they had to do this or they forgot they had to do that because they were just looking at the money they were making and they're excited. They weren't looking at it long term. They were just looking at it as a way of making a few bucks. The other thing is a lot of these guys do try to keep their list active. So what they do is they go buy solo ads from other solo ad providers, grow their list. It's a very expensive thing to do, and it doesn't work. Then they come and they push their list really hard. Remember I was talking about those deceptive emails? You've won $100, click here sort of thing. You've seen them. They're terrible. First of all, you end up losing your autoresponder accounts, which is very common. And people go, I just lost my Aweber account. Usually if you look at how they email it and how many times a day they email it, you'll understand why. So people are positioning themselves just for the short term, not for long-term success. This is my business. This is what I do. 10,000 clicks a day. Let's say an average of 45 cents a click. It's a lot of money I'm generating. And I make good money at it. So I look at this as a business. Okay? And everyone can. That's why I'm giving this to you, because if you run your business better, it's better for me, right? And most people do not know how to maintain a healthy list, how to maintain engagement on that list. Did you see how many people open my emails? Well, there's a secret behind that. So they end up paying for a lot of inactive list members. People are just sitting on their lists that aren't really doing them any good at all. So the solutions. We're going to go through a number of pages of solution. Every autoresponder service has a way to segment your list. If you do not have a way to segment your openers, the people that open your emails into a separate list, you have a shitty autoresponder and you should change immediately to someone who does. If you're using Power Lead System, I'm sorry. It's a lousy autoresponder, and it will not segment your list. If you're using GetResponse, you can do it. Aweber, you can do it. There's a number of different services to allow you to just segment your openers into another list. And believe me, that's a great thing. Okay. So I have a two-part email strategy with my new leads coming in. I create a list. When new leads come into my system, the first several emails you get are just there to determine who are the openers. And I make some money on it too. So I find out who the openers are. I then market solos to the openers, okay? Unless I want to market something else to them, but my main business is email. Okay. Once a guy opens email, he gets segmented or directed into my email for openers. I then pull him into a separate autoresponder account called the SMTP server, and I mail him there. So you probably won't do that, but you'll have a list in your autoresponder account, a campaign or whatever they call it, that is made up of just openers, okay? So that's where I sell my solo ads, is the openers. That's how come I get 30-40% of the people click on the link sometimes, or 50% up to 70% open emails. They're highly engaged because they're proven to be openers. But what happens is a guy opens the email, and solo ad business is brutal on your list. They click on 2 or 3 emails and they realize, I don't want to be part of this anymore because they're signing into a bunch of junk that doesn't really work, or they find something that does work for them and they're done. They don't need to see your ads anymore. So they just don't open your emails, or they set up their inbox filter to send it to trash, or they opt out. So what I do, if somebody has not opened an email and they are on my engagement list, which means they opened an email in the original list that they went through, but if they don't open again for 30 consecutive days, what I do is I just take those lists, I back up a copy, and I store it. I then remove those people. I purge them, literally delete them from my autoresponder account. This does a couple things. A, I'm not paying for people to be on my list that don't open emails. And B, it keeps my engagement rate super, super high. So when I send out an email, I can get 30 to 40% open rates. Now, why is that important? Because that email goes into, let's say, Gmail, for example, and they say, okay, 10 emails came in, and this person opened 3 of them. That sender must be a good marketer, emailer, because a lot of people are interested in what he has to say. It's called engagement rate. That means a high engagement rate creates a better score for your autoresponders, so they like you. They like you a lot because their sender score goes up, and their deliverability is better. So I keep my engagement rate high. It makes my autoresponder happy, or in my case, I'm running my own ESP, email service provider. I have my own version of GetResponse for my solo ads. And the higher the engagement rate is, the more of my emails end up in the inbox to get clicked. So by filtering out and getting rid of the deadwood, I'm emailing only to active people. Okay, I look at my email system as a filtration process. Okay, so the autoresponders love the fact that none of my emails bounce. A very, very low complaint rate because I don't use deceptive emails. My list members are very engaged in opening, and when they lose interest, they're gone from my account. The other thing you need to do is use a quality link tracker. I'm just saying this because I don't want you to spend a lot of money, but the nice thing about Clickmagic, which is the one that I use, there are other ones out there. Some of them are good, some are great. Clickmagic is kind of the standard bearer. It will allow you to manage multiple orders. I might have 10 to 15 to 20 orders at one time. You can manage them all in a single link. It prevents bots, and bots, as an emailer, I'm sending an email. There are clicks that register on my links that aren't clicks that I sent. They are things like a Google bot that's checking that link out because it thinks it's a web page. There are people that attack your links to try to get pages. There are bots out there looking for stuff to do nefariously. Clickmagic filters all that out. So your customer doesn't pay for any crappy traffic. They're only getting good traffic, okay? The other thing it does, when somebody opens the email twice and clicks on a link twice, it's considered a duplicate click. My customers are paying for a unique visitor. So if somebody clicks twice, that second click, it goes to a different customer. So it allows me to optimize the amount of money I'm making off my clicks. Okay, so I can run this all day long and manages duplicate clicks, and it prevents bots and keeps my customers happy. That's the key thing, is it protects my customers, and I spend a lot of money every month to protect those people because they're my lifeblood. Here's the other thing people don't understand. I've got a list of 300 people who want to start selling solo ads. This is the most difficult part of selling solo ads. You will need to keep adding fresh leads to your list, and you're going to need lots of leads. You can easily do this if you have a successful product. I had a CPA product on Cash Networks for a couple of years. I was getting 1,000 leads a day coming in off that. I didn't think anything about building a list, so it just came in naturally. Well, all things, changed, and eventually it faded away. Suddenly, I didn't have a flow of leads coming in, so I was primarily selling solo ads with that, and that dried up. And suddenly, how am I going to get leads unless I go out and create a brand new successful CPA product? Well, that's a pain in the butt, and you lose money on CPA. So I wanted to just be able to make money and not lose money to make money. So you can use things like pay-per-click advertising, you can use Facebook, other sources. But when it gets down to it, your leads are really expensive. I mean, it's not unusual for people to be paying up to $3 to get a single lead into their autoresponder account, and then that lead is just totally not engaged anyway. And this is why most solo ad businesses fail. They make a little money, they spend it, and they fail to reinvest into fresh leads, or they go to solo ad providers and they buy solo ads from the solo ad providers to build their solo ad sales list. And so they're getting the same list the same leads on their list that are on 10 other lists. So they just kind of wear out, and all they get are dull leads. So what you'll see is, unless they're doing really, really effective engagement management like I'm doing, they're just not going to have a high open rate, high click-through rate, and those people who do click-through are not going to be very prone to take action. So this is why most people fail, because they don't maintain engaged lists and they don't grow it. I grow it every month, okay? So here's the problem. I'm going to go to using a solo ad as an example. So let's say you get a solo ad for 40%, and you're really, really, really good at optimizing your landing page. Now, you'll hear people go, I get 50%, I get 60%. It's all bullshit. If you're getting between 30 and 40% opt-in rate on a landing page, you're doing pretty good, okay? And I have done this for 15 years. I understand how this works. So let's just say in this case, you buy 100 clicks at 40 cents a click. That's $40 to generate 40 clicks. That's $1 per lead. That's amazing, okay? That's amazing. Most people are getting $1.50 to $2 per lead, and if doing pay-per-click on Facebook, it's probably more like $3 per lead. Now, when you buy a solo ad, it's the same lead that's on 15 other solo ad lists, okay? So really, when you get down to it, only about 10% of those leads you're getting from your solo ads are ever going to open and click. So that means it costs you $10 to get a lead to open and click an email that you're going to make, 40 or 50 cents on. So how can you sustain your profits on this? Okay, that's a classic problem. And this is why so many people come and go. I see it on YouTube all the time. You'll see someone come on, suddenly they sell X clicks, and then they disappear. Then there's some really smart guys, and there are some good dudes on Udemy, and they keep selling consistent quantities because they practice what I'm teaching here. So I'm going to share with you my secret to maintaining my list with thousands of fresh, hungry leads at about half the price that would cost me if I was to go buy traffic from a solo ad provider. And I'm doing this in a group, a special group, and I'll talk about that later. I generate a lot of new leads every day, a lot. I sell a lot of clicks. I have to keep a lot of number of clicks coming in to sell those clicks. But I told you this is my business. This is not something I'm just doing to make $50. I do this by buying or doing what's called media buys, which are not easy to do. It's a lot like pay-per-click. But I found a new source that is really amazing, and I'll share it with you in a little bit because I'm buying as a member of a group of media buyers. So when I was doing media buying before, I was running all these campaigns and it was driving me crazy because I had to optimize each campaign. It was a pain, and I could never get my cost low enough because I wasn't buying enough traffic, and I didn't understand how the system needed to work for the publisher. Publisher are the websites that are that your ads are showing on that you're getting your media buy traffic from. So the result is now I get fresh leads, and they're not on anyone else's list because I didn't get these leads from buying a solo ad. So they're very engaged. They're highly engaged. They open and click on my emails. And my cost to generate these leads and generate my clicks is probably a third what most solo ad providers are doing out there. So they mean that they probably don't track what it costs for them to generate a click. It might be 25 cents. And then they're selling clicks for 30 cents. They got to deal with the hassle, and you see why they're going broke. So let's say it's costing them 25 cents. My cost is always is less than that, and my cost is always the same. So if you want to learn more how I am able to buy these leads as part of a group of marketers who come together and pool our resources, then I suggest you visit ActiveLeadsPro.com. Now, this is not an affiliate link. Here's why I'm sharing this with you. Active Leads is a media buying group. You go in there, you say, I want to generate 500 leads, the price is this, and they generate the leads for you at that fixed cost per lead, which is super, super nice. And then when they hit your autoresponder account, if you do proper engagement, you're going to have leads that open and click email at a fraction of the cost compared to your competition. So if you guys want to keep selling it cheap out there, I could match your prices. I'll be in business, and you won't be, but I want you all to be in business. Active Leads Pro is where I get my leads. This is not an affiliate link. The more people that participate, the more money the group has, the bigger the solo ads buys can be, the quicker they can fill my orders. It's just better for everybody. So, my recommendation, if you are in the solo ad business, you should be part of a solo ad or what we call a media buying group. This is the best one, or really the only one I've seen. There's another one out there, but take a look. It's really a great way for you to start making money in your solo ad business instead of spending it all buying dead leads that don't take action.